I'm gonna talk a bit about Houdini. So let's just open it. Yes. So yeah, this is the default interface. The main thing I like about Houdini is, you have all the operation. You have these things called shelves, and you can just press them, and they're gonna create the things you want and do the operations. So I want some basic lighting on my scene. So I just press skylight and it's gonna create a light. And okay, I want a camera, so just go here, and the viewer press enter, and it's gonna create a camera. You can move the camera. So it's really easy to just create things and do the different operations that it gives you as default. So that's the main thing I like about it. Uh, uh, the the main, let's say, I don't want to say gimmick, but the main thing distinguishing Houdini is that it's node based. So every operation is a different node. So you can add an edit node, so you can edit the geometry, do all sorts of stuff. And then you can add a different operation, then do a transform, for example. And I want it to be twice as big, so you, you scale it, and like little by little you're gonna create a sort of tree going up in this direction, going vertically up to down. And you see each operation is connected, and it has an input and an output. You can see output one, input, and sometimes you have different inputs and different outputs. That's totally fine depending on what you want to do. For modeling, we're mostly gonna keep it linear. So we're just gonna start with an object, and we're just gonna do a series of operations until you have your desired result, desired model, let's say. The interface, I don't really like it. I think it's too busy. You can just start by let's say deleting this. Let's see if I can do it. Let's create a new desktop first. And let's go to modeling. Or actually, let's save current desktop as, I like to call it creation. So save. I'm gonna delete everything for now. And let's see if I can remove shell set from dock. Okay, that's what I want. I don't like the scene view on the left, but it really depends on what you want. I'm just gonna delete it, delete it, delete it. I'm gonna delete this and delete this. Here you have your empty network, so your network. Have a material palette that I'm not gonna use. Output, I can I can leave it as is. So here in the corner you can click it, and let's see, you can split the pane. So you can split pane left and right. Boom. Now you have your both here. I'm gonna right click and create a scene view. So the scene view is a scene. So you have a plus here, you have an X here if you want to delete it. I'm gonna do a plus. With my left click. And I want perhaps a render viewer. Let's say scene view, context viewer. So yeah, mantra rendering, can have a render view. A render view, no, it's not really necessary. Here you already have the output, right? Yeah. So you have object output. Yeah, that's fine. You can just have a render scheduler here. I think render scheduler is useful. Here you have these things selected. These pins, I'm gonna unselect the pins. And here you have polygon, deform, modify, texture, create, which is basically what all the tools you need are gonna be here. I'm also gonna add some. So you click on plus and you can add new shelves. So here you have polygon, deform, modify, texture. Those are all different shelves. And so you can see there's a lot of them. Let's see if I can find the light and model and cameras. So yeah, you're not gonna use them for now, but for later it's useful to have. Same with the render scheduler once you need to render stuff. It's okay. Let's save current desktop. And that's basically it. Let me place it a bit better here. So yeah, for editing, it's just the little down in the corners. It's gonna allow you to do all the modifications you want. You also have here some like frames. You don't need them. You can press this. I think I've tried to remove it, but I don't know if it's possible. But you can just hide the play bar. So you just hide it. If you want to make it cleaner. And here there's a hidden bar that you might want to show. So this is like your options. So your selection, scale, all sorts of things. For moving, if you have your mouse over your scene, you can press spacebar and move your camera around using the left click and mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Right click to zoom in and out as well, and middle mouse click to pan and zoom. But all of this you have to press the space bar. Here you have a lot of other options. This is just visualization options. So if you don't want to view the base plane, the ground plane. You don't really have to. The how they call ortho grid or plane grid. This is a different shaders if you want lights, if you want to display the textures, if you want to display lights, what kinds of lights you want. Here, if you want to display normals or the point number. One of these is normals, I'm not sure which one. Point trail, yeah, display normals if you want to view the vertex normals. But yeah, if you use your mouse wheel and go down, you have a visualizer here, display options. You can click on, left click on it, and in the backgrounds you can choose your what kind of color scheme you want. If you want dark or gray, I keep it light. I like the light. If it's too bright for you, you can use dark. And when doing some modeling, I'm gonna switch to dark to make things a bit easier. For now, I'm gonna use light. So yeah, so that's basically it. I don't know why am I in output here. Should I be in output? Here. So if you left click here, you want to be in object. I don't know why it's repeating. I'll just delete it and save again. So okay. So to get started, I'm gonna load everything using, so tab is gonna open, you can use tab to just write what operation you want, what kind of node you want. You can navigate here for the different options of nodes you can create, where you can just type it, and I'll just type file to load a file. So here is the main scene. Is gonna have your cameras, you have your lights, your all sorts of stuff. You can have materials here. Inside is where you're gonna have the kind of the operations are gonna take place most. So this is mostly just a container for what's inside. So you double click, and now you're inside your object network, and you can start. I'm gonna name it. This is gonna be Bard, and you can create a different one for each, let's say, body part that you want to work with. But I'm gonna use everything. I'm gonna do everything here, and I'm gonna save it first. And I'm gonna save it in 3D models. I'm just gonna call it like Bard 1. And go to hip. And I already have some base models. And I'm gonna load everything first, and then we can start modeling. So here's the make human. I saved it with about the T-pose. Let me save it in a T-pose just to kind of see it. So here again, if you're not completely satisfied with your result from make human, or if you want to make some adjustments, you can. So if you have your you go on select. So here I like to have the parameters window is just P to show parameter, so it's enabled, disabled. So I just like to have the parameter window open here. And if you have select, you can select the vertices or points, select points, there they call it. And maybe you want to kind of change it a little bit. And T is to transform. And like I said, you have your different ones. So transform is going to be T. I highly advise using the just using the letters. It's going to make everything a lot easier. So rotation is R, scale is E. And so you press T on the main, on your 3D viewer, and you can see the handles. They're gonna be a bit they're not gonna be straight, right? They're gonna be at an angle. So you can right click, you can align handle. Instead of component, you can align to world, so it's gonna be straight, and you can move them in the x-axis. This is the z-axis, and this is the y-axis, which is the same as milkshape. I don't know if Blender is different. Seems a bit strange to do it different, but yeah. So can make some changes, make it maybe a bit more, a bit softer, perhaps. Yeah, it's not gonna make a huge difference, but just showing that you can, if you want, to make some changes. And that's a good thing, because I can show you that I'm gonna overwrite the model, which is this one, and it's gonna you can overwrite, it's okay. So here you override it. Okay, let me close it. And here I'm gonna go to click on file, on the file node, and go on reload geometry, and it's gonna reload it for me. So that's kind of handy. So you can go back to make human, make changes, and just go here and reload geometry, and those changes are gonna be visible. So I'm gonna have to make some edits, of course, because I just want the face, but I'll do that later. Let me just load the other geometries. So I have the arm here, and the position is gonna be different. So the position is gonna be a bit lower. And here, these basic geometries that I made, there are quad geometries, which are gonna be a lot easier to manipulate than triangles. Because let's see, if you use a divide, it's gonna turn into triangles, but then you can't really use like edge loops, and edge loops are really useful. So keeping it at quad geometry is gonna be a lot better for modeling. Let's go to new base leg, base torso. Yeah, I made a basic torso. I already made some hands. Let me use this instead. Let me go here. You don't have to use this one. You can use the other one I have, the just hands. Let me just see how different they look. This one's a lot more detail, so I'm not sure it's worth it. So I'm just so I have both for now. And here I have two types of boots. I'm gonna use the pointed boots. I can just show you the Bard uses that I already made. It's just the normal wood with some slight modifications. But yeah, this is the boot that I use for pretty much all of my models. So, okay, and then can start merging. So one of the most important, so I always right click on the output here, which is this little dot, to make new nodes connecting with the connector. And the problem with the merge is that sometimes it messes up the UVs, which is not that important, but because I'm gonna be redoing a lot of the UVs, but just in case I don't. So you can see here that I did. So let me see here. The view is already bad, so doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm gonna use yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna use the hand low for when I do the the strategy map, so I'll just use these hands, the pre-made ones. Uh, so yeah, if the textures get messed up, you need to change the order you're connecting them. It's a bit of a bug, but it's not a big deal. So yeah, and the boot. Again, it's probably messed up the UVs. Yeah. Okay. And the UVs here are already messed up for some reason. But yeah, I can fix them later. But yeah, so spacebar 1 with my mouse pointer in the 3D viewer is gonna change it. And let's say spacebar 2, stop view. If you press spacebar 2 again, it's gonna give you the bottom view, and you can see it changing here, so you can just set view and change them. But then spacebar 3 is the front view, spacebar 4 is the side view, you can right, left, and spacebar 5 is gonna be your UV view. So come back to the 3D viewer, the perspective, and let's see here. So here I'm gonna click back on the face. I'm gonna do a small change here in the order, just so it's a bit. I'm gonna move the torso, so it's here you can the nose, you can disconnect them and you can drop them here and connect them again. Disconnect, and just right click and you can connect it. Si on perd the UVs. Okay, clean UVs. And you can press L to kind of organize it. Actually, I don't like it that much, but let's keep it here. Arm, I just wanted to go pretty much up to down, so it's a bit easier to kind of localize. I'm gonna disconnect, connected here. I know this is kind of frustrating, but you don't have to do it this way, but okay, these are getting messy. So for each node, you have a kind of, you can click on them and do the operation. So you're gonna start the operations from there. And the blue light is the viewer. So if you just want to view what's happening, so here is the place that it's getting messed up. So here should be good. It's not that important, but let's. Okay, spacebar 1 and we're back. So what I'm gonna do is select here face. I'm gonna select everything and I'm gonna press T and move it down. And you can see my model is kind of short. So I'm gonna go and go to transform. and 1.15 perhaps for the uniform scale of the transform. It's about where I want it to be, maybe 14. It's about right. No, it's way too big. I just need to. Yeah, all this work can be kind of tedious, but mostly I like to do it. I think it's fun, so it really depends on if you like to do model or not. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I'll just leave it at 0.5. Okay, so I'm going to delete now a lot of things that I don't need. So you have this part of the eye that I don't want. And the inside of the eye and the inside of the mouth I don't really want as well. So yeah, this is something that it's a bit annoying. You're gonna the pink selection is gonna make it viewable whenever you are. You can just deselect it. So yeah. So what I want to do really, select these, select these, select these. These, so I'm just shift and double clicking, and I'm gonna delete them. I also don't have the thing that I done before. I can do it here again, it doesn't matter. So okay, you have your eyes and your the eyes are way too big, so you can press E for scale and just scale them. Again, I'm just double clicking to make the selection, double left clicking. Now you have your body, and one thing here is that these outer circles are a bit too much. So one thing you can do, if you click left click on selection, it's gonna give you some more options. I don't know if you right click it as well, and you can select brush picking. So it's gonna give you a brush, and with the mouse you can make it smaller or you can make it really big. I'm gonna make it really big, and I'm just gonna select this center here. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I need to press shift to select both, and I'm gonna press, actually it's gonna be harder to do. Let me click them, and I'm gonna press tab and go to visibility. That's gonna make them invisible. But here in the properties, I'm gonna put non-selected primitives, so you only have the eyes. Again, I'm gonna go to brush picking, and I'm gonna make it the size that I want. I'm gonna keep, there you go. I'm gonna delete it and delete non-selected, and let me see if it's, yeah, it's still gonna delete everything, which is kind of annoying. So I'm not gonna delete them, so I'm just gonna select them, and I'm gonna tab, and I'm gonna duplicate it. Okay, and then I can select the extra here and delete them, which didn't work either, which is kind of annoying. Okay, I think I had it selected, but I'm just gonna move them. Okay, done. So yeah, you can see that there are no holes in the geometry, but it's greatly simplified. Now, you can make a selection here. Again, you can use the brush. I'll make it much smaller. Well, the brushes. Let me redo it. Go to spacebar 3. And try to make a selection here. Okay, gonna go to spacebar 1. And I'm gonna deselect what I don't want. And the camera is facing down, so I don't select other faces accidentally. So I'm gonna press Ctrl, and that's gonna deselect the faces that I don't want to be selected. So yeah, that's the selection I want. So I'm gonna press delete, which is gonna delete them. But I can, in the properties, I can delete non-selected. So it's gonna delete everything that I did not select. And here you can see the how it looks. I'm gonna delete more of it. For the, because the hair is gonna be covering much of the face and the back of the neck, so I can delete these parts as well. Well, I'm gonna do that later. For the hair, you need some. His hair basically has like two parts. It has this kind of the top layer that goes in this direction and has like a little bit of a ponytail, and this part that goes to the shoulders. So I'm gonna try to do this part first. And if you can see, I can delete this visibility note. You can see here that Most of my models are just one portion, so like just the left side or the right side of the model, and I'm just gonna mirror it, so it's more convenient to just model one part of your model, one half, and then mirror it. It's gonna be a lot easier. So I'm gonna do that for my hair as well. Hairline roughly. I'm gonna do it here. So this is the star of the hair. I don't know why there's a blast here. You shouldn't have any operators between your mergers. So keep all the operations in before the merge. I greatly advise to do it this way. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna duplicate this. Right, and I'm gonna put it over here, and I'm just gonna like right click and drag this connector to the main face. And this is gonna be my hair, and I can add it back to the tree here. You can call this a network tree. So you're like, well, big deal, you have 3 faces here, but let's try to make a whole head of hair with this. So I'm gonna go to poly extrude, and in extrusion front transform, I'm gonna go to transform extruded front, and it's gonna give me all this. I just want the transform, so T, and I'm gonna move it back a little bit. And you can see that when I duplicated, I kept the face over there. I'm gonna delete them later because it's already here. But it's good to have as a basis reference. One thing I don't, no, I think it's fine. So I can move this a little bit here, a bit to the back. So I'll try to do this first part here of the hairline. Again, poly extrude, transform front. And here I'm gonna do increase the division, have it curved. And one thing that's really useful about nodes that you can just come back to this node and I want it to be the hair to be a bit higher, and so you can do that. So it's very flexible in that way. So you can just use your operations T, E, and R to make adjustments. Maybe I want to rotate it a little bit. Yeah, now I want this this side. So this side here, I'm gonna delete. Because I don't want, if I mirror it, it's gonna have some polygons here that I don't really want. And one thing already I can, his hair is pretty, doesn't really have a kind of depression. Let me open back this one. Let's go poly extrude, transform extrude front, then T. I can start to rotate it a little bit as well. So his hair goes like a kind of halfway to his ear. So I have to kind of keep that in mind. So again, I'm gonna press curved and let's give it 3 or 4. Yeah, I can even go back to like here. You can even try to edit a bit more. Okay, select these again. I think I can just about cover it here. Okay, let's put it like 4. Let's keep it curved. Edit it a little bit. So the hair is starting to kind of take shape. But yeah, it's up to you as an artist to kind of look at it and make changes as necessary. It's very much like drawing and stuff like that. So if you have like a background of graphic design, of drawing, the modeling process is gonna kind of feel a bit more familiar. You can see if you some changes are gonna kind of change the lighting, and you don't want it to change it too much. Okay. I think here I can go. Am I in the right one? Yeah. No. Let's click on poly extrude and yeah, I'm gonna have to edit manually. Okay, one thing I'm gonna do here is add edge loop close to the edge here, and I'm gonna select the edge loop by double clicking. So you have can select an edge and double click, and it's gonna select all the edges around it. And just gonna make it a bit thicker, or I can move it a little bit like this. Okay. This looks a bit weird, so let's fix that. Yeah. Shift click and select several faces. If you press W, you can see just the wireframe, and the wireframe is useful because you can see through the wire, and you can even here there's different selection modes. You can go wireframe, hidden line, invisible. We can just keep it a wireframe ghost that I like. So let's poly extrude this. I'm gonna see if I can do a kind of big one. Sometimes it doesn't work out too great. Actually, can just keep it like this, perhaps. Yeah, so poly extrude is kind of finicky. You might want to just do like one at a time if you're not as experienced, like one ring at a time. You can have a bit more control. Just try to make it a bit faster. So yeah, that kind of looks good for me. I'll keep it 5, I think. Not sure. Sometimes it's better to keep lower, just so you can, so it's a bit easier to move things around. Yeah. So here, this down a little bit. Uh, for this one, let me see how can I close it off. It's kind of getting like the rough shape of the ponytail, so I kind of like it. Mm, Let me try again. So I'm gonna delete it. Yeah, I might just have to keep it straight. How high is his ponytail? It's kind of low, right? Um, so I'm actually gonna delete this. Don't like that. Uh, so I can click area, select visible geometry only. And that should be fine for me. Let's do it the normal way. So yeah, just gonna delete that. Do one thing here. I'm gonna delete. So okay. So I'm just gonna try to make the ponytail shape a bit rounder. Mm. So one thing you can do, I'm gonna create a new edit here. And I'm gonna select this point and press T, and I'm gonna put a 0.05 soft radius. So if you just go down in the parameters for the edit, and that's gonna create an area where it's gonna affect more points in that area. Because makes it a bit easier. Yeah, and I can go back this way. I'll go 0.02. Okay, let's see if I can create a decent ponytail from this. I'm gonna select the edges, but I'm gonna deselect these parts that I don't want. Let's make sure I have, don't really select anything I don't want. So Control for deselection, Shift to select more. Actually, I can create the extrude first and then adjust it. Something kind of straight for the doing it this way is also helpful because you kind of keep it with the poly extrude. You can keep it kind of looking a bit more natural, a bit more organic. Okay, so press your poly extrude and let me go back here to the edit. So you can see how useful Houdini is for modeling because you can just go back and forth and change things. So you don't have to undo any like things that you don't want to, like undo what you worked if you notice something that you want to do differently. Again, you can go to poly extrude. The edges are already selected, or you can even press Shift Q to redo the poly extrude. And here I'm gonna give it a bit of a that kind of first bump. And poly extrude again. Okay. It's not Shift Q, it's just Q, and you can repeat the operation. And this final one, just gonna make a point. Let's go down. This one, can I go down? Don't want an edit. So yeah, you can select these and you can actually fuse them. And press 1 and it's gonna fuse them. So yeah, I like to go back and forth and make adjustments as necessary. Bit lower. So right now the head kind of, it's a bit in the way. So it might be better to just delete it before you start working. But now it's done, right? Okay. So the next thing I'm gonna do is select these ones, and I'm gonna do the bottom of the hair. You can see that I'm trying to kind of give it a bit more shape first. I kept my selection, so that's good. So we can go to poly extrude, transform, well, we can try to give it a bit of a wave. Sometimes it's hard. Let's see if we can do like, do it in trees, curved. Try to give it a bit of a wave like that. Let's try to make it a bit straighter, a lot straighter. Yeah, something like this. Gonna give it a bit of a wave. Okay. Then press Q and again, let's go for 3 curved. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and Q. Three. This last part, since I'm so close to the neck, I'm just gonna touch the neck here and split up the ends a little bit. So this part is a bit annoying. So what I'm gonna do is gonna make it straight. So yeah, I can just go back and make this bit straighter, and let's see if it kind of doesn't really mess up our, well, it messes up a lot, so it's not really a smart idea. So let me undo it. Yeah, can't really move it, but I can just select back to my extrudes. I'm also gonna add an edge loop here. So here I can extend the hair a bit more. First I can just move it down and then do a poly extrude and extrude it a bit more. And do the same here. So at this stage you can probably select the hair, press delete and delete non-selected, so you just have the hair. And you can just keep doing adjustments with the soft radius. So one thing you can do is right click and go to smooth, and it can give you like a really aggressive smoothing everywhere. You can set it to 1 or 2. It's a I think 1 is fine. So it's gonna make it a bit smoother. I'll try to correct this a little bit. I was hoping the smooth would make it look a bit better, but no such luck. Hmm. Later you're gonna probably want to delete some of it, because depending on how much you see, or at least these two, so you can do the mirror properly. So this part at least you don't need. This inner part, it's gonna depend on how much you can see from the model and everything. You can even join a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to make it a bit uh, straighter for the mirroring, so it's doesn't have many problems. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Then, oh, the ponytail. Gonna try to adjust it a bit manually. And then you can mirror it just to see how it looks. So one other thing that you can do, well, you can do it after the mirror, I guess. You can do a mountain node, and you can see it's very strong. So you can do like 0.01, and again for the height, and 0.01 for the element size. And what this does is give it a bit of some ripples. So yeah, for now you don't need the mountain node. The mirror node, you can keep it, but I'm gonna do the UVs just for one half, so that makes it easier. And then let me merge. You can also just save it and append a new save here. Kind of makes it the network a bit cleaner. I'm probably gonna do that, but just so I can see it for now. So I probably want the back here to kind of extend out a lot more. So we can do a soft radius of like 0.5 perhaps. No, too much, 0.1. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So yeah, that's it for the hair, and I'll keep going doing the rest of the model.